Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday morning, wherever you may find yourself in the world. And if you're watching this on replay, happy whatever time of day it absolutely is. Hope you are doing well. As you come in, make sure in the comments you throw what city you're coming in from, where you might be living, what kind of business you're in. The cool thing about as we get started and people start to roll in on all the different platforms all over the place, welcome to those of you that are new, or you might be catching this just randomly somewhere, or somebody has suggested this over to you. I'm Jason Cisneros. Welcome to another episode of the Built to Exit podcast with me, your humble host, Jason Cisneros, where we talk about all things business, all things finance. We get into some personal stuff every once in a while, but this show is where we all come together as business owners, because in the small and mid-sized company world, which is my family, we all have sort of common things that we go through. We may define them differently. We might be in a different business. We might be in a different part of the country, might be in a different stage of our business, just starting or towards the end, which is where Built to Exit actually came from. We specialize in taking you from wherever you are and preparing your business for the optimal exit. So that's where you are. But one of the ancillary benefits is everybody that's watching right now, especially live. We do this live. So we do this live on multiple platforms. And then afterwards on Twitter or x.com, you can join a live discussion. You just go to @theJCisneros on Twitter and click into the spaces where we do a live after party. And lots of different business owners from around the world get together. We have conversations, we ask questions, we talk about the content that I do from week to week. And it has become a lot of my friends and a lot of my family that we get to celebrate our wins, which we don't get to in the small and mid-sized business world. We're very, very busy, and we are busy running our businesses, making sure that we're not going out of business, fighting things like AI or how are they going to help us? We're always facing in our industry, in our world of small and mid-sized business, we're always facing this sense of impending doom. It's just kind of like it comes with the territory, right? We're this small little percentage of human beings that come together, 10%, right? That's the 10%. In the United States, we have 330 million people that are in the country, and 33 million of us own businesses. And so it's a small percentage, a small subset. And as I've built my own companies and sold them and semi-retired back in 2019, and then, figuring out that if you're a business owner and that is part of who you are, part of your spirit, like Mark Andreessen says, there's no other option but to be a business owner. That's how you know you're an actual business owner. How you know that you are a merchant is that there's really no other option for you. You can't fathom the idea. Yes, you may have had a job before. You may have a job right now, but there's something in your spirit that goes, I want to control my own destiny. And I want to control my own time. And whatever happens, live or die, misery or happiness, joy or sadness or whatever it is, it's up to me because I'm a business owner. And I would rather live by my own results. So those of you that are around, I see you guys. Thank you. I see your comments coming in. Good to see you. Hi, Heather. What's up? Ruben, Robert, Christopher. Great to see everybody out there. So we're going to go ahead and kick this off. And we are messing with technology, and Jason should not be doing that. So we're gonna roll into it real quick. I've been watching the news, and part of what we do here is I want to bring in conversations around what's going on in the marketplace that we are having to address. Like, as I was saying before, we've had 9/11s, we've had COVID, we've had, these are things that are outside of the typical things that we have to overcome. There's 1,000 things that need to go right for a business to succeed and to act, not even to succeed, just to survive. There's 1,000 things that have to go right constantly and consistently. And then there's outside things that happen that we have to deal with that are there's just no way we could prepare for, right? AI right now happens to be one of those things. And those of you that will be impacted by tariffs, right? We're in this conversation. We're in this this time frame around tariffs, where Trump has taken over and is looking to level the playing field, right? There's a for and against on the tariff front. I'm not here to argue the for and against it, because this is part of being in the small and mid-sized businesses, which is just basically 0 to 499 employees. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how I feel about what's going on, tariffs or no tariffs, other countries having an unfair, labor cost as opposed to us. It doesn't really matter, because we are singular in business ownership. We are running our own bit. It's not like I can run over and negotiate with Xi Jinping, or, call up Donald and say, hey, my pizza shop over here and my janitorial company over here, and this, these tariffs just really aren't great. Or they're, my car wash over there, or my HVAC company over there, it's pretty good for tariffs. Keep going. That's not up to us, except for at voting time, right? It's for us to educate ourselves. It's for us to figure out, how things are impacting us, and then modify and tweak our businesses to be able to advantage or survive or get to another side or pivot or change or shift or whatever it is. We have to be the ultimate pivot machines in our business. And so there's no difference here. Like, again, this is not a political show for us to go, oh, it's Republicans against Democrats. Republicans and Democrats, we all own businesses. Those businesses happen to be the core asset of our lives, that are taking care of our families, that are putting roof over our head, that are paying the taxes. It's 60% of the GDP. That's $17 to $20 trillion in this country. We're busy doing that, and we have to optimize constantly for the best scenario that we find ourselves in, while the title of this podcast and the name of our business division, called Built to Exit, keeping that long-term view in mind. The further you can see out, the further you can prepare for, the further you can identify into the future with your business, the more successful you're going to be. The more you separate yourself away from that 95% of businesses that won't see their 10th birthday, because you're focusing in and having conversations with and employing the 5% strategies out there that help businesses survive beyond that 10-year birthday. So that's what we talk about here. And again, not a for and against, not a Republican Democrat conversation. It's simply, you own a business, I own businesses, my wife and I own businesses. I live in a community of people who own businesses. And so this is a conversation for us to take what's happening out there in real time and see how we can utilize that. How do we need to pivot? How could we look at things a little bit differently, and then maybe take some stuff? I love history, so a lot of the shows that I do are steeped in history. I'll pull from something that happens, like today. I'm reaching back into Rockefeller, as he went through something very, very similar. But we pull from that, and then we actually end the show with some ideas, with some suggestions on what you can do for your business. I've been told multiple times that this show is worth the same amount of, more money than a lot of things that people are paying a shitload of money for to these other gurus, because I really want you to succeed. I really want you to, ultimately, selfishly, I want you to join this group of people, because it's more of a movement. It's more of a mission for us to come together, and very simple concept. Never be able to be called non-essential again. That's it. That is my motivation here. Now we have tools built to exit, has strategies. We have tools. We have things to be able to help you. We have certified strategists if you need some help with your business. We have the ability to sell your business through a brokerage. We have lots of relationships in the private equity business. Everybody along the professional, the professional tax attorneys, investment bankers. We have everything that you could possibly need for you to be able to, from start to finish, accelerate your business, optimize for cash flow, prepare your company for succession or exit. We have all of that stuff. But in the meantime, we're building an army of people who come together and have great conversations and support each other in opposition of a world that has their hand in our pockets because we're producers. Okay? Very simple. I harp on it every single week. But this week, again, your end game is very important to you. It's very singularly unique to you, whatever your end game is. Once you get certain about it, you stop playing the game of I'm looking at Instagram and their dreams are my dreams, and that car is my car, and that house is my house. I need to have that jet and all. Once you get beyond and you mature beyond that bullshit that you see all over social media, where you land is, what am I doing with my business for me and my family? Right? What am I doing with my business? Where do I want it? What does it need to produce? That machine that is called a business, not a hobby, that machine that's called a business, how do I structure it so that it is worth a lot of money to somebody who would want to purchase it, or I can hand it over smoothly in succession to my family or my loved ones, okay? That's what we focus on. Once you get beyond that, you say, my end game, how do I get there? What are the lessons I can pay attention to? Two massive realizations, and then I'm going to get into the content. Two massive realizations is that you need to build the exit. Why? Because everybody exits. Everybody exits. Think about that for just a second. If that's the only takeaway that you get from my show today, is that everybody exits. We're all going, we're all leaving, and we ain't taking anything with us. That's number one. And your business is going to be handed off to somebody else, or it's going to go out of business. You have three types of exits, right? You have the exit where you have no control over it. You go out of business, get sick, pass away, partners leave you, lawsuits. It's called an involuntary exit. There's another one that's called a dictated exit, where other people who know how to buy businesses just kick your ass at the closing table. You get less money than you want, takes longer, and they dictate the terms. That's a dictated exit. The third type of exit, which is what we talk about here, is the custom tailored exit. It's custom tailored to you. Now, it can't be custom tailored if, for instance, my suit, I couldn't have this custom tailored if I didn't have an idea. I want it to be in gray. Right? I want there to be a certain lining. I love skulls on it. What are the things? Like all of that. I couldn't custom tailor my suit if I didn't have a vision for what I wanted it to look like on podcasts, when I'm on stage. How does it travel? All those kind of things. And I could not have a custom tailored suit unless I was dealing with somebody on the other end who knew exactly how to construct my vision, right? And so when it comes down to yours, you have to have the vision of what you want your business to be doing, your custom tailored exit. How much money does that mean in your pocket? Is that a paid off house? Is that a paid off car? Is that travel? When you get to that conclusion, it has a number attached to it, shockingly low most of the time. Everybody's like, I want to make 100 million. They don't. Very few people actually sit down and go, I need this specific amount of money. That's just randomized because of the way that social media, lack of accountability, lack of planning, not having architects like us in your life to be able to help very strategically get to that number. And so as we enter into it, make sure that if you do nothing else, again, the premise is that you got to be built to exit. No, there's three types of exits, and then you have to know your end game. Those are the premises that we always play from, that everybody exits, how matters. And that's where we're starting the conversation today. So, the idea here is we want to entertain you, we want to inspire you, and we want to inform you. That's my job. Every single Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then join us for the after party Right after this, we go into at the Jay Cisneros on Twitter, and we have a really, really great conversation. So let's kick things off with the story that's buzzy. This comes from yesterday, literally a couple of articles. I've been following the tariff war that's about to kick off here, but small and mid-sized business owners are feeling the heat from President Trump's newly announced 25% import tariff on foreign cars. Okay. Those of you, and I do know we have some folks in the audience that are being impacted and affected by this right now. And so, I thought I'd talk about it. And again, this isn't a for and against. I believe that there's really, really great reasons why we need to be having these tariff wars. I stand beside and stand behind the decisions that are being made right now. Now, are they always a great idea? Again, this is not a for and against. It just happens to be that there's some stuff coming down the pike right now that's going to impact all of us. And so again, the lesson here, not actually the subject, because next week it's going to be another subject. A month after that, there's going to be another subject. Next year, there's going to be another subject. This is taking in information. How do you process it? How does it impact your business? And this may not impact your business in the least, right? At least not directly. There might be some indirect issues, but the idea is take that information in that we can't control, but we have to pay attention to it, modify that, pivot, and how do we come out stronger on the other side with your asset called your small business or your mid-sized company, whatever your business in general. Okay. How do we do that? Now, if you are, experts are saying this could jack up the vehicle prices by thousands of dollars. Now, if you're a small auto parts supplier or a mid-sized dealership, this isn't just a headline, it's a gut punch, right? Your costs are spiking, your margins are shrinking, and your customers might start tightening their wallets. But here's the twist, right? Here's the twist. Not everybody's sweating it, right? This is, again, going back to what I was saying earlier. Tesla, the electric vehicle giant, might actually come out ahead. Again, not about the tariffs, not about Tesla. It's the position, the lesson in what's happening. So Tesla, the electric vehicle giant, might actually come out ahead. Why? They're mostly made in the United States of America. So they dodge the tariff bullet while foreign competitors like Toyota, Volkswagen take a hit. It's a classic case. Here's the punchline for you of chaos creating opportunity. If you're positioned right. This got me thinking, how can small and mid-sized business owners turn a curveball like this into a home run when it's time to exit? Okay. Again, punchline, the takeaway, chaos creates opportunity. I have found this to be true. Look, my entire career has been as a turnaround specialist. It is businesses getting a phone call from people that are in crisis, their business is in crisis, and getting that phone call to say, one of the only people that I know that can fix this is a guy by the name of Jason Cisneros. Those were my early days. And we have nothing else left to lose. So let's bring him in and see if he can pull this rabbit out of a hat. That's where I got started, and that's all the businesses that I ever bought. This led to a really great career of where even today, right? And rescuing kids in trafficking, domestic violence, people that are starving in the world, businesses, exits that are falling apart where they need somebody to come in and put that back together, investors who have lost a shitload of money and need somebody to come in and straighten that business or whatever out. That my life and my expertise and has been funded by finding chaos or opportunity in chaos. I'm great in chaos. You should be great in chaos. You shouldn't be looking to live a life of you should actually find calm in chaos, right? Write that down. The next 7 days, then look at your life, look at the interactions that you're having, and write down that phrase. Where am I finding calm in chaos, not to where you start to make everything chaotic. That's not, those of you that are around me, I do a lot of talking where it's my place to talk. And most of the other time I'm on a beach, I'm calm, I'm relaxed. I'm not saying much. I'm doing way more listening than I am speaking. Because I find calm in chaos. And by the way, I find joy in everything. Right? These are ways that you can shift, like these 2 millimeter shifts that Tony Robbins taught me over the years, is that there's these 2 millimeter shifts. And if you can find opportunity in chaos and you can find calm in chaos, you are going to stand miles above everyone else that is getting pat answers and leaning too hard too hard. I'm not an English teacher, but too hard on AI and letting other people and other things do the thinking for you. That's not my audience. That's not you. You're utilizing AI as a tool to be able to enhance, not to be able to lean on it and have it do all the thinking for you. These are places where you get mentally lazy and you start to avoid chaos. People that avoid chaos have weak backbones, develop weak backbones. Not that you have them, not that there isn't a spine there to build or wasn't there in other times, but people that really do find themselves in chaos, whether it's self-inflicted, that's not real great. But if it's purposely chosen, consciously chosen, you develop the metaphor of a stiff spine and thick skin. And those two things are really, really great to have in business at all times, because people are going to try to attack you. They're going to lie about you. They're going to attack you online. They're going to attack your product. When you're a threat to other people, you have to have a stiff spine and thick skin, because there's so many ways that you get attacked. So the concept again about these tariffs, calm, just calm in chaos, right? Just that deep breath and go, good. Right? Good. What, there's a guy in the military, somebody can put it in the comments, a military guy that wrote a book, and it's not coming to me right now, but he just said whenever any problems came to him, it was like, good, I'm ready for those. That's the sign of a true leader, and you can develop it over time. It's not something you're born with. It's something that's developed over time. And I was able to develop it because I had people that I trusted that taught me the idea that I had to have a stiff spine and thick skin. And so same thing with you. It's just that perspective shift. It's a choice. So let's rewind the clock to a guy who faced his own economic chaos and came out on top. The situation always changes, but the circumstances will always be there. Every one of you have had chaos. Yes, it was Jocko Willink. Thank you so much. I want to make sure that we give proper attribution on this show, unlike other gurus. So, but again, if you want to, just put in the comments, or reach out to us via DM if you're watching this on replay. Just let us know what has been some of the chaos that has happened to you in your life. I know I've got Danny T, who's watching right now. He had leukemia that he had to overcome and did it, and now helps other people overcome that very same thing, right? And has a wonderful family and has done some great things with his life, and educated himself in business so that he can have all that leverage, right? So all of us have had that. These two stories right now happen to be about tariffs, Trump, Tesla, Rockefeller, but it's really about you. How can you take that? By the way, I'm going to take just a little aside. If Tesla, Elon, tariffs, the politics of the day, if that messes you up psychologically, if that causes you to hate somebody else just because of the red or blue thing, that is not a tool of the wise. I'm going to say that very carefully. Getting caught up in that means that you are somebody else's tool. Make your decisions, vote for who you want, do what you got to do, fight for what you believe in, all those other kind of things. But if you are allowing yourself to go fight these stupid battles that you see on the internet, and you're arguing with somebody, a Republican or a Democrat or whatever that's calling you stupid or you're an idiot or blah, blah, blah. If you are involving yourself in that, I can guarantee you that at least 50% of your capacity to be a great business owner, for you to be able to reach your own end game, about 50% of your capacity, and I'm being very generous, has been completely hijacked for the purpose, mindset, propaganda of a political party. Pick one. I don't care. Okay. Draw back from that if you're involved in that. And I know a lot of us are. I know I've been drawn into it myself in the past, but just that a little aside for you to think about. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. So back to Rockefeller, okay? Rewind the clock to a guy who's faced his own economic chaos, came out on top, John D. Rockefeller. Again, stop the judgment. I don't want the comments. I don't give a shit what you think about I don't care about any of that stuff. It's business lessons, okay? So just save it, because those comments are going to be deleted anyway. Everybody has a hate group, including Mother Teresa. So I don't want to hear about it. Back in the 60s, the oil industry was wild, wild west. Prices swung like a pendulum. Small refineries were getting crushed, and the Civil War had just thrown everything into disarray. Now think about that on the cannabis side of things these days, right? There's a big wild, wild west, and then the small ones are getting crushed, and there's opportunity in that space, okay? There's opportunity in that space. He built Standard Oil by snapping up struggling competitors at bargain prices during downturns, locking in railroad deals to cut costs, and focusing on efficiency when everybody else was panicking. Okay. Both of these segments have a takeaway for you. Okay. If you can get yourself to intellectually calm down, right? Intellect high, right? Intellect high, your decisions are much better. Right? Intellect low, your emotions are high, and your emotions, when they're high, which is panic, judgment, fighting over stupid ass politics, all that other kind of stuff. Emotions high, your intellect is low. That means if your emotions are high, you're going to make dumb decisions. Right? Think about it. The last time you were just, over the moon about a man or a woman or somebody that you were dating, or you were pissed off at somebody, or whatever, you can utilize and go back through your memory and pick places where your emotions were super high and you took action intellectually that was stupid ass decisions. And it resulted in a lot of ramifications down the road. Same exact thing here. When everybody else is panicking, you should be calm. By the time he was ready to step back, he'd turned chaos into a monopoly that made him the richest man in the world. The parallel here is striking. Tesla's dodging tariffs because of smart positioning, domestic production, and Rockefeller crushed it by leveraging disruption. Both show that when the market shakes, the prepared don't just hang on, they pounce, right? You see, this is a show being done by me. I'm a business owner, have been a business owner, semi-retired back in 2019 when I sold my companies. I can't retire. I'm always going to be doing this. Hopefully they'll be wheeling me out on a stage to teach and to coach and owning businesses, succession for my kids, my wife, everybody around me, to the charities that we support, all that. I want to do this for the rest of my life. Okay. And in so doing, I have a longer viewpoint on businesses, which is all I'm asking you to get. Get beyond having to make sales at the end of the month. Get beyond the concept of being in business for just another year, right? Holding on. You calm yourself down. You look at places. You actually start to hope for some sort of disruption in the marketplace, because every time that happens, the amateurs in the marketplace panic, and that gives you great opportunity to grab market share, to be able to start a new business, to be able to take a new strategy, to be able to acquire somebody that might be panicking themselves, where you get a whole bunch of business because you're able to acquire them. It leaves you open for all of the intellectual approaches that you wish to take for you and your family. Okay. So it's not just being prepared. It's, and not just hanging on. It's being ready to pounce. Okay. So takeaways for today, practical application. And there, I've got a fourth one that I'm going to throw in here. Usually I like to give 3 so you can jot them down, you can take them, you can apply them into your week. But here's where we're going to go. Number 1, position yourself for resilience. Okay. Tesla's winning because they're not reliant on imports. Ask yourself, what is my personal business tariff? That external shock that could hit me in my particular industry. Maybe it's a supply chain risk, a big competitor moving in. Maybe your industry is being affected or impacted by AI. How do you turn that from being, oh my God, my industry is being upset by, how can you make AI your friend, right? That might be a good idea. Build resilience now, diversify suppliers, localize production, whatever it takes. So when the storm hits, you're still standing. When a storm hits, you might take a little hit. This is something that I have realized over, 7 or 8 massive economic cycles in my own life, is that the more that I can sit that, yes, I might take a hit, but the calmer I am, the more prepared that I am for that hit. On the other side of it, I come out, it might take off a little of that top line, but I surge because that wave of economic bad news or the things that we couldn't stop, whatever, as it passed, it took out completely the unprepared, the panicked, the people that couldn't make it through chaos, and they lost their business, just chipping away, which is what has built our empire over time. That's number 1, position for resilience. Buyers love a business that can weather anything. Number 2, turn chaos into opportunity. Rockefeller bought low when others were desperate. If tariffs or any other disruption squeeze your industry, look for the deals. Could you acquire a struggling competitor, snag a key asset on the cheap? Chaos is when value gets built, and that boosts your exit price down the line. Built to exit. Everything is about that exit. Regardless of what you think the titles of these shows are going to be, it's all about your exit and making it optimized. Number 3, efficiency is your edge. Rockefeller obsessed over cutting costs without cutting corners. Tariffs might shrink your margins, but if you're leaner, smarter than the competition, think automation, streamlined processes, better customer retention, you'll shine when it's time to sell. A profitable business in a tough market, that is catnip to the buyers of businesses. When you make it through these things, when you thrive through these things, and you can show that as part of your exit story to a potential buyer, guess what happens? The only thing that should happen, there's 3 things, write them down. Your price of your exit, the timing of your exit, and the terms of your exit. That's what Built to Exit does. We put you in control of those 3 conversations, the price, the timing, and the terms. If you don't control those, somebody else does. Okay. And that's your exit price, your multiple. Write it down, study it, get to know it, because we talk about your multiple quite a bit here. Might be in an industry where the multiple, you have $1 million business, your multiple is 3. That means you can sell your business for $3 million. If you don't know what you're doing, that $3 million, you may not get any money at closing. Somebody might walk in and not give you any money, and then you have to work there, and basically they're buying your business with your own money. None of that shit makes any sense. It does to an acquisition. I want to do that on the acquisition side all day long, but we're preparing you on the sell side. Very few people have your back in the sell side, because everybody around you in that sell cycle, understandably, is there to make money. From the investment banker to the tax attorneys to the person who's buying your business to all along the way, they are looking to make money in the transaction, which they should. The more of that you can do yourself and being prepared through Built to Exit psychology, strategy, education, all of that puts money back in your pocket instead of everybody else's. Okay. Efficiency is your edge. Number 3, Rockefeller obsessed over cutting costs without cutting corners. I'm sorry. I already went through that. So number 4, this is one I'm going to add on at the end, because I was dreaming about it last night as I was thinking about coming into the show. Was this thought just kept resonating in my dreams as I woke up, and I just jotted it down on the side of my table so I could go back to sleep. But I want you to think about, as you're building your business to exit, and then we're going to wrap this up, is what problem are you solving for? It seems like such a simple question, and I know that that 100 other people have asked it, and you might have heard that question in different forms 1,000 different times. But it is so crucial in the day of these days where there's economic uncertainty, where there's political uncertainty, where we don't know whole industries are changing, whole institutions that we used to be able to count on are changing, relationships between people, countrymen, and there's a bunch of stuff that is shifting. If you and your true north of your business can constantly have one flag up and it says, what problem am I solving for? And you are so committed to solving that problem for the biggest group of people that you possibly can, you are going to stand out by miles in this arena. Life is about change. Life is about things shifting. The rate of change seems to be sped up these days, but there'll be another period of calm eventually, right? And what you want to do is be set up with a strong foundation as you hit that calm, making sure that you're surviving the waves and the disruption. Not only that, but you might be riding the waves and enjoying this trip as we go through these very uncertain times. Not going to lie to you. They are definitely uncertain. But if you keep that true north, what problem are you solving for? Now you can look at AI to say, how can AI help me solve for that problem? How can AI plus a human asset accelerate that? How can it make me stand out in the marketplace? What does my marketing focus on? That one narrow area instead of trying to being all things to all people. This show is really not for a whole lot of people. We know that over the next 5 years, our target is to help 600 people exit their business between $5 and $30 million. That is the sole purpose of Built to Exit. Period. End of sentence. Along the way, there's going to be a lot of businesses that are making more money. They have their systems in place that, we've been doing this for a very, very long time. For my companies in the beginning, not to be a guru, but for my own businesses, my own family. And then secondarily, we've helped hundreds and hundreds of businesses and thousands of business owners as I've spoken on stages around the world. So that's it for episode. I could keep going. I love to talk about this shit, as you probably are getting the clue. But that's it for this episode of Built to Exit. I hope you're walking away. You get a little entertainment, right? With the tariff drama. You're inspired by Rockefeller's hustle, and you're armed with a few tricks to boost your exit game. If you love this, subscribe, right? Subscribe wherever you happen to be getting your podcasts. If you're over on YouTube, all of the places, okay? Leave us a review. Tell a fellow business owner how about the show. Have them join us. And if you got a question or a story to share, get over to the after party we're going to have right in the next 2 or 3 minutes after I close out this deal. Go to Twitter, download it. That is where business is being done like crazy right now, by the way. Get over there and jump on the after party. Go to @TheJCisneros on Twitter. Join us for the after party. Have a great conversation, meet the regulars, ask your questions, et cetera, but become part of the community. We love our community. I love being able to go anywhere in the world, be able to say, hey, I'm going to this city, which we're getting ready to go to Riyadh and Dubai and Singapore and Germany and a whole other bunch of places to be speaking about this very subject, plus some technology. But I love being able to say, hey, we're coming, and to be able to have dinners with people from around the world. My old show used to be the Bald Avenger show, Misfit Nation. We still all know each other. We still all love each other. We still all are getting together around this idea of business. So welcome to the community. I hope you stay with us. I hope we get to hear your story. I hope I get to meet you, high five you, hug you in person, as the kids say these days, IRL, in real life. So we'll go from there. See you soon. Take the information that you've got here, apply it for yourself over the next 7 days. Come back with questions about how it worked, how you need to enhance it. And then we'll see you live in the after party on Twitter. Thank you very much for being with me. I really do appreciate your time and attention, and we will see you next week. Peace.